back, and we just finished watching 2019's Knives Out, which is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. A movie that, unfortunately, it came out, I believe, the weekend of Thanksgiving. My husband took kids to go see it. I, unfortunately, had to work the Friday after Thanksgiving, so I was not able to see it. And this was actually my first time, and I have to say, I enjoyed it immensely.
Goddamn work.
Goddamn work. Exactly. Anyway, so this is the story of a very intricate murder mystery.
Yeah. It's definitely like a throwback to the old classic murder mystery detectives, and in not only just the intricacy of the mystery itself, but in the use of a very eccentric detective.
Yes. Brilliantly played by Daniel Craig.
With his crazy accent.
What was it? Foghorn?
Chicken fried foghorn leghorn, as Captain America said.
Also, a stellar performance by Chris Evans. It's nice to, everybody in this movie is just A1, amazing.
Big ensemble cast.
Huge ensemble cast. Nobody's wasted though. Kudos to Ryan what am I saying?
Ryan Johnson?
Yeah. Why did I just completely blank out on his last name? Kudos to Ryan Johnson, who's the writer and director of this fantastic movie.
Why do you say kudos?
Just like shout out. Kudos. Cheers.
Kudos is a word that means congratulations
on a job well done,
or a great job. Like you're saying, hooray, good job.
Yes. So
it's a fancy word. It was also a candy bar when I was a kid.
Kudos.
Was it?
Yes,
really?
it was. You don't remember Kudos?
No, not at all.
Anyway, kudos candy.
Kudos to Ryan Johnson for writing and directing a really tight script that, again, uses a huge ensemble cast, but nobody's wasted. Everyone is pretty much just well used and furthers the story along. It's nice to see all of the players in it get their little almost 15 minutes of fame. There's really great performances by Toni Collette, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, who's another favorite actor of mine.
I hate Michael Shannon.
And always a treat to watch.
What?
You don't even know who Michael Shannon is.
Which one was Michael Shannon?
Yeah, which one was Michael Shannon?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Are you a lawyer?
Yes, I'm a lawyer.
What did you think about it, Jane?
I thought it was great
What was your favorite part?
when they uncovered who actually did it.
Yes, that was...
Wait, my favorite part was when she vomited on him.
on Ransom?
Yes.
That was also good. What about you?
My favorite part?
Yeah,
probably the big reveal, just because I remember when I took the kids to go see this initially. You're watching the film and you're trying to play
Piece it
along.
together,
You're
yeah.
trying to piece it along, and typically the way these murder mystery things work is they'll sprinkle a couple of clues here and there. And
it's always the person you least expect it to be.
They'll try and give you a lot of suspects to work with, and then you're working along with the detective to find out exactly what happened.
I think you
I remember when as the film progressed, you're about maybe a half hour in when you realize what actually happened. You see what happened, and you're and when I was watching it, I was like, oh.
You were
Why did they
confused.
do
You
that? Yeah,
you told me that.
I was straight up confused. I'm like, why did they reveal it already? Now it's just going to be trying to avoid the detective finding out. That sort of robs you of the fun. But they didn't do that. You still don't know what's going on. You think you know what's going on at that point, but you don't. And you just got to keep going along for the ride. And as you keep going along, you're just you're smacked again and again where you're just like, what? And it's awesome, and you really get into it, and you feel like Trooper, whatever his name was,
Wagner.
Trooper Wagner. You're just sitting there with your mouth agape, Keep
going, keep going.
God, this is like, let him go. Let's see what happens.
I thought that was great. But yeah, and you know what? It's funny because I'm actually going to try not to spoil this movie.
Yes, I'm going to try.
Yes, I'm going to try not to spoil this movie only because it came out not too long ago. It came out in November of last year. And I'm sure some people have not seen it. I'm sure it did well in the box office, so I'm sure a lot of people saw it. But for the benefit of the people that didn't see it, I'm going to ask that everyone at this table not spoil what happens at the end.
Alright, we barely
But
talked.
if you didn't see it, like myself, please check this movie out. It like my husband said, it's great to go along and try to play amateur detective. The payoff is amazing, and it's so well done that it's almost like, oh, that makes total sense. Why didn't I see that? That was another thing that I
could not have seen that coming ever.
And the other funny thing is, I think when you guys saw it, you were all terribly impressed and told me, and I kept trying to rack my brain thinking, like, what did they tell me, who it was, and this, that. And it was funny because
Mom loves
at one point I
spoilers.
said to myself, you know what, just sit here and watch it and enjoy it. But I hate surprises, and I want to know in the minute. I'm not terribly big on, not terribly big on spoilers, meaning that I don't care. Like, if I want to see something, if somebody spoils it for me, it doesn't really ruin it for me. Like, I'll still watch it anyway.
I'm the total opposite. And every time you ask me, well, what happens? I don't want to tell you. And usually you badger me until I do, and then I feel bad.
You shouldn't, though, because I'm not like that. I know, just tell me anyway. I hate surprises. I hate being surprised.
I love surprise. I want to go along for the ride.
I don't like surprises. I want to be in control, and I want to know what's going on at all times.
And I especially love going along for the surprise when it's not obvious and it fools you.
Yes,
and
yes. This film does it.
It's so good.
It spades. It's amazing. I think that, again, if you're just watching it for the first time, I think that you will really, really get a kick out of it. Although, for the people that have already seen it, you may want to rewatch it again, because I feel like this is one of those movies where you can find new things. Mm-hmm. Again, everyone in this cast, from the main characters, from Marta to Ransom to what was Daniel Craig's character's name? Maybe B? What was it?
Blanc. Belmont Blanc.
Or something crazy.
Yeah, in her contacts, she put maybe colon B dot blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, everyone, even the Fran character, just everyone is utilized so fantastically, so well, amazing performances, and just a really complex, fun, amazing story by Rian Johnson. I can't get over how good this was.
Written by him as well. Too.
Yeah, written and directed by.
Very well written. The dialogue in the film is crisp.
Yeah.
Everybody's distinct. Everybody has their personalities.
Absolutely.
You feel for all of these characters.
Yes.
And
you really get swept up into the story.
Get swept up in the story, the way they present everything, because everybody's telling their point of view. And if you notice, when like the flashbacks happen, you'll see subtle differences between each person's point of view, showing like how important they feel. It's almost like, well, I'm Dad's favorite. No, I'm Dad's favorite.
Sure.
No
one's Dad's favorite.
And it was just really good, and like you said, everybody's performance was super strong.
Yes, and a special shout out to the always amazing, who I feel like he's working now more than he had in previous years. Christopher Plummer does an amazing job as the writer, and just that also is really clever. Again, kudos to Ryan, because the intricacies of this story, and to keep it all straight, and to kind of interweave all the aspects together to that final conclusion, like, you have to really put thought into that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, how long did it take
a lot of stuff
was
just
though?
It was just some of the stuff that's just thrown out there, but then it ties back in. It was just really, it was very clever.
nothing-
Very, very clever.
I don't think there's a single wasted line in there.
Yeah.
Even when it came down to the very end, where you think, "Oh no, this is bad. It's gonna happen."
Yes.
And it turns out that it plays back to something that
Had
Harlan
previously
said,
been mentioned, yes.
and you're just like, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah,
Perfect.
full circle. This amazing, and also really nice work by Chris Evans as
I know.
as that character. Again, don't want to spoil it, but
You're used to seeing, Captain America.
Yes, highly
he's
impressed.
He's a jerk in this movie.
Yeah, I've
I think
never
that's safe to
I've
say,
never
yes.
seen him a bad guy.
Yeah, but really well done. Jamie Lee Curtis is amazing in this. Jamie Lee Curtis, Toni Collette is always a treat to watch. Nice performance,
Who's
not
Toni- who's-
very much,
Was Toni Collette supposed to be Gwyneth Paltrow?
Tony Collette
Maybe.
was Joni, right?
I think that was.
Yeah,
I think that was
Joni.
what they were
And Jamie
going
Lee
for
Curtis
with
was
that whole-
Linda.
Yes.
With that whole flan is a way with life.
Yes. But I mean, you can see like the little digs about
Yeah.
like certain professions and personalities and stuff, and always one of my Hollywood crushes, Michael Shannon, always a treat to watch. His little scene with Marta in the hallway was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The end with Linda and the lighter
Yeah.
was great.
Everything
Everything
ties.
everything
in.
He
tied.
actually found out.
And
No,
there was
no
no
spoilers.
and even that, you realize what's going on as it's happening, because she was always going on about
Their little games.
her the only way to really connect with my dad was to have a little game with him,
Right.
and play by his rules.
But it seemed like all the children had different interactions. I don't know about Neil, the Toni Collette character's husband, who looks like apparently passed away. So Toni Collette is actually his daughter-in-law. But because Harlan is so rich, she's obviously
She's taken care of.
yes,
'Cause
and
plus he has a granddaughter.
right. So that's why she's entrenched in the family. But it seemed like Harlan had a certain relationship kind of with the Linda character and a certain type of relationship with the Walt character. Would have been curious to find out what his relationship was like with Neil, or why Neil died, or how Neil died and stuff like that. That's never explored, but again, it doesn't take away from the story.
Yeah.
It's still just a fantastic piece of storytelling. A great movie, the set design,
That
the house
awesome.
is amazing.
Beautiful set design.
Yes, I just wanted to drink it in. I'm ready to watch this movie again. Actually, I'm like, can I fit
I'm
this
sure
in next
there's
weekend?
all sorts of little subtle clues in the background.
Exactly. That's what I mean when I said
this was a rich movie. There was a lot of
absolutely,
stuff
top to
happening.
bottom. That's why I said, so for people that have already seen it, I encourage you to watch it again. I think this is one of those movies where you keep finding new things. I had this conversation with you recently about watching the Silence of the Lambs and Shawshank Redemption, and these are such powerful, amazing movies, but also stories. Both of them. These movies were made many, many years ago, and yet they still stand the test of time. They're amazing to watch, and they're the type of movies that you can just find new things in. I think this is I'm going to call it's a new classic, Knives Out. Absolutely. It's one of those movies that's going to be definitely parodied, definitely copied.
Well, it was.
And I
like
think it's
said,
going to introduce
it
new
was-
resurgence in interest in that type of genre,
I
kind
hope
of
so, but
storytelling.
I hope it's a resurgence of stuff that's well done.
Done,
Because
yes.
this truly was
well done.
This was like an Agatha Christie
Yeah.
sort of mystery.
Murder mystery, yeah.
Where you're left guessing, you think you know what's going on, you're fooled, you're hoodwinked, and you're being taken on this journey with this like quirky detective.
And this crazy dysfunctional
This
family.
crazy dysfunctional family. It's a mystery. I mean, it's a mystery even as to. It's not really a spoiler to say this, but it's a mystery as to who's even hired the guy.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it's just, it's so good, and
It's, yeah.
and it really is just a throwback to great murder mystery. You don't really see that too often anymore.
No. And
Now-
especially
now
with all the
it's-
nuances and the layers. I mean, that's the thing that I was so impressed about, because it's like there's all these little details that you think are just thrown out there for not no reason. Is that even proper grammar? That are thrown out there for no reason, but they come back and they tie up the story very, very well. I did have a problem with Daniel Craig's foghorn leghorn accent for a while, but then it grew on me. It still was very jarring, because in my mind Daniel Craig is James Bond, so I was like, why didn't he just speak in a British accent? I don't understand.
Well, maybe the next one.
Maybe
Sure.
I would love that.
There was
Ryan Johnson,
a
if you're
joke
out
on-
there,
yeah.
please bring him back and
There was
have him have some other crazy accent.
That was a joke on Twitter.
Yes.
That somebody said every time he comes back, have a different accent.
I would love
And
that.
Ryan
I would
Johnson
love
was like,
that.
Yes, I love that.
I love it. Scale of 1 to 10, G. What would you give this movie?
I'd say 9.9.
9.9. Olive G.
Grace.
Yes, this movie
Scale
is
of 1 to 10.
A
excellent.
scale of 1
What
to
do you
10.
think?
What would you give this movie?
9.
9. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 9 too, because like I said, it was a throwback to a type of film that I always
Haven't-
enjoyed, even
yeah.
The plot is admirable.
even as a child, and it's nice when people
It's done right.
people reach back to that sort of like seldom used genre, because it really isn't really used anymore. You'll see mysteries nowadays, but not like that.
No.
Not like that. And it's nice when somebody does their homework, comes up with something super solid, and delivers. And this film delivers in that respect. Just so good.
Yeah.
But more
What about you?
boring.
I will give it. I know that I was asked to look at the parents' guide. I refused to. I would say this movie is for maybe 12 and up. I think you're okay. Maybe even 9. No, not 9, but maybe 10, 11 up.
There is
There
some
is
heavy
mild
cursing,
cursing.
and some talk of unsavory acts, but especially in regards to a certain Nazi child. But I would say 12 and up, probably.
So what do you give this
Yeah,
movie?
you're
I would give this movie a 9.5.
Ooh, okay.
So I
Almost
rated
a
it the
perfect
highest.
movie. And again, shout out to Ryan Johnson. Amazing storytelling. I love that he followed up Star Wars with this. I think I'm gonna go on the record and say I think The Last Jedi was a great movie. I don't care. I will fight anyone that says that. It was way better than Chapter 9, and I will fight anyone that tells me that movie is better than the other one, but whatever. I hope that we continue to see movies and stories by Ryan Johnson. He is absolutely a great director and absolutely a great writer. That's it from us, and we'll see you all we'll talk to you guys all very, very soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good night.